Hello everyone, this is the first edition of my podcast Unpopular Opinion, and then with me, my guest today is a man of few words, a man many regard as a ghost because they know about him but they've never seen him. And he's just an enigma, like most people think of him as a super spy, some think of him as something else. But we are here to hear it from the horse's mouth. With me today is my brother here, Joseph Arthur Fraser. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mzee.
And how have you been?
No, I've been fine.
Before we get into it, just want to make a disclaimer that most people will think it was easy for me to get you to sit on that chair. It was a mission. It was a mission. I keep on banging on certain door just to get you on. Like the first time I met you was on the 25th of May, 2019. It took me months for you to say, yes, you can. So tell us about you. Who are you? Where do you come from? Family background and...
Thanks, Mzee. As you know, I'm not somebody that normally engages in the public eye.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of my background.
Yes.
And I think you know part of that.
Yes.
You know. I come out of a family of 6 siblings.
Yes.
My parents were God-fearing people.
Yes.
So they brought us up in a religious household where norms, values, and that was very important for them, you know. But it was also the fact that they felt that we had to always have empathy for those less fortunate than us.
Yes.
So I come out of that type of family.
Yes.
My father and mother, my father originally comes from Tsomo, in the former Transkei.
Yes.
Yeah, and my mother comes from a mission station in Crossroads, but it was called Klipfontein Mission Station. So they both come from mission stations. And I think that's where the religion influence comes from.
Okay.
You know, from my father's side, as you would know, that we had a strong Xhosa influence because they were located in Tsomo.
Yes.
And until this day, we've got homestead in Zuma.
Okay.
All right. So that my mother comes from, as I said, Klipfontein, but her mother was a unionist in the 1950s, and her mother used to get them as siblings to distribute band literature.
Okay.
So in part, we got influenced by our parents as siblings, you know.
So it was not a surprise then when because you are the firstborn, but you are number 3 in the family because you've got 2 sisters ahead of you. Correct. So you're not surprised when your sisters got into politics at a very, very young age?
Not at all. Also, you know, when we grew up, my father, although he was a teacher and ultimately a principal,
yes,
where it was compulsory for people to sing the national anthem. He insisted that as kids, we shouldn't sing the national anthem.
Why? Oh, the Africans, yes.
Yeah, the stem.
Okay. All right.
That was the point. So when we used to attend school and we were in assembly,
yes.
Yeah, we just would stand and observe while others were singing.
Okay.
The stem, you know.
Your sister came with this wild idea that you guys should skip the country and go to exile.
Yeah, it was 1980.
Yes, 1980.
When I was 15.
Yes.
She raised it with me to say, look, she's contemplating
of going to exile.
Going into exile, if I'd be prepared to, if I'd be interested in going with her. And I agreed, you know, but...
She skipped the country without you.
Exactly.
How did you feel about it? That you, after planning all this skipping of the country with your sister, and then boom, out of one day she just vanished and she's gone?
Yeah. No, look, it was clear she was planning with a group,
Okay.
right? She'd raised this with me, so there was an anticipation. It was only one day when I got home that I realized something is not right at home. And then we got briefed by our parents to say that Geraldine left a note with our aunt to inform them that she'd already skipped the country.
Skip the country.
Yeah.
So, and then you got, the family doesn't hear of her until 1981?
In 1981, that's correct.
Yeah.
We never knew if Geraldine managed to skip.
Reach
or
the
if she-
destination.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we never knew that. But the parents decided, I think, at the beginning of 1981, Alan Busak, it was in the media that Alan Busak had made contact with the ANC.
Yes.
So the parents on their own decided to go and engage him.
Dr. Alan Busak.
Dr. Alan Busak,
Yes.
and asked him to when he engages with OR Tambo again, if he can just establish from OR if Geraldine is alive and where she finds herself.
Yes.
And what happened, I think soon after that,
Your mom went to go and visit her.
Alan came back and he gave a message that Geraldine is safe and that she's in Harare. And I think what coincided for my parents was the fact that my aunt had left the country in 1966 on an exit permit visa. She was an academic and she then came to Harare.
As a lecturer.
That's correct.
Yes.
You know? And then the parents used the cover of the aunt
That
or
they're
the
visiting
sister.
your aunt as a
That's
lecturer
it.
because she was not original in Harare, she was original in Netherlands.
Correct.
So she just moved to Harare
Correct.
to start lecturing.
Correct. And that's where, when my mother went to visit her in Harare, that they then met. My mother linked up with Geraldine and that, you know.
Then 1983, you were allowed to go and visit her.
Correct. It actually, my parents planned from 1981
Okay.
that when I finish my matric, that they'll save up so that they actually can go and visit her. And we built from 1981 the legend that Geraldine had married a Zimbabwean.
Okay. That's why she's in
Zimbabwe, so that by the time we decide to travel to Zimbabwe, everybody knows that Geraldine
you are
is
going to
living
visit
there.
your brother-in-law in Zimbabwe.
That's it, you see.
Meanwhile, she was married to Jabu Mleke, a South African.
Yeah, but she wasn't then married to Jabu
Yes,
yet.
but yes.
Yeah, correct, absolutely.
So then you go and visit your sister, and then she say, oh, by the way, remember, you're supposed to join the struggle.
Yeah, that's true. We, as a family, we all went out in 1983. And when we got out there, Geraldine revisited this thing of recruiting me.
Yes.
And of course, I was excited that if she recruits me that day,
You will join the struggle.
yeah, and that I'm going to have access to arms and all of that, only to be disappointed to be giving reading material.
Instead of an AK-47.
Exactly.
But then, shortly after that, I think like was 3 years later after that, you formed your first underground unit, the Dora unit?
It was actually 2 years.
2 years after that.
2 years after that,
Yes.
I then formed the Dora unit,
Yes.
where we recruited a couple of comrades.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, what was the Dora unit all about? What were you guys doing? Because you were not given an AK, you were given a material to read and understand the purpose and the aims of the struggle. And what were you guys doing at Dora unit?
Look, initially it was about engaging and dealing
Okay.
with political questions that were there,
Yes.
you know, at the time. But we were also supplied
Okay.
with, how would you call it, pamphlets
Okay. Okay.
that
To
we
distribute.
then had to
distribute.
you know.
Okay.
So we had to get it printed, distributed, and all of that. So that was some of our first operations.
Okay,
that we
distributing
embarked on.
banned political parties.
Correct. And it was difficult because we had to get these things printed where the regime wouldn't be able to detect. You know?
Okay.
And what we would have done is we would have distributed this on the first trains in the morning.
Okay, so
we'd go for the trains, drop it on the trains, and then get away.
So, and then until when about 1990, when you were to receive someone?
No, in 87. Initially, they'd asked us to send one of the members
of the unit.
Of the unit, yeah, to be trained in explosives.
Okay.
And so we sent one of our comrades out. We didn't have money at the time. And so we actually went to Alan Busak, Dr. Alan Busak, to ask him for money, to say, hey, we need to send this guy out of the country. And he provided us with money. He's never asked us for a slip or anything.
Okay.
This guy's name was Theo Henry. He went out for training in Angola. When he returned, after the training, he then indicated that they had requested the entire unit to come. The unit had to go out for training.
And where did you go?
We left the country and we went to Harare. Mm-hmm. And maybe if I can just indicate, just to make sure that it didn't look as if we all left at the same time.
Okay.
We actually left our family homes at different times, but got held up in a place.
Okay, that's okay.
So that if people were approached and asked when did any of us leave, there was no synchronized leaving.
So it was different.
Yeah, the only part is through the border. We actually went in different vehicles.
Okay.
When we got to Harare, we were then facilitated by Geraldine them to go to Angola.
Okay.
And I must indicate that what impressed me about the ANC and its relationship with ZANU-PF was the free access they allowed us through the airport. So we flew to Angola. In Angola, we were then taken through our paces with the training. We spent a few weeks of combat training there.
Then you came back?
We returned to Harare.
Yes.
I think, yeah. And when we returned to Harare, we were debriefed. We were then also, I was actually told when I got to Harare by Geraldine that we have a problem back home. And that's the first time I got to know that my younger brother had also joined MK.
Okay. And
that his unit had got compromised.
Okay.
During the course of the festive season. Barry's commander was Lucy Abrams.
Okay.
So she indicated that there may be a need for me to go back sooner and help assist Barry,
your brother,
and his other comrade, to leave the country
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, but they then decided it's not necessary because it seems that they were able to manage, and they realized that Lucy, the commander, had not compromised anyone.
And, so she was not a suspect.
Interrogated. So they could actually delay Barry's extraction out of the country. But after the debriefing from Angola, some of us were interviewed individually. And we were interviewed, interestingly enough, by two comrades. The one I remembered the name. I've now been able to determine who the second person was that was part of the interview panel.
Okay.
It was Archie Whitehead.
Okay.
He was an ambassador. I don't know what he's doing at the moment.
Okay.
Excuse me.
The second comrade?
And Ivan Pillay.
Okay.
We'll talk
about him later.
Yeah, so they interviewed us individually, not all of us,
Okay.
the unit, and they were interviewing us to be part of Operation Vula.
Okay.
I can indicate that initially their views, Ivan and Archie's views, were that because I was the commander of the unit, that I should not actually
Be incorporated into
be
operation.
incorporated into Vula because of the risk, high risk there. And my view was quite clear, you know. There's no way that any of my unit can be involved in operations that I'm not
involved,
prepared to be involved in.
Okay.
So I was then incorporated. And it was during that interview that they then told us, you know, you, and I know that they've said this to the other comrades that we interviewed of the unit. They told us that, look, this operation will only give you a lifespan of 2 years.
And in that
If
2
we
years,
take that here, so you'll either die within the 2 years or will be incarcerated.
okay.
So we understood that our lifespan potentially is up until 1989.
Okay.
Right?
So you come back home.
Correct.
What happened thereof?
Yeah, fortunately, we've demobilized now and all of that.
Yes.
We felt the escalation from the movement. So arms were sent in
Yes.
to us. And then we received senior leadership
Yes.
from outside the country that was infiltrated into the country.
Yes.
And in my instance, or in our unit's instance, we received Briggs,
Yes. Yes.
Charles Mania, Christopher Mania. We received him into the country. And we had to provide him with a safe house. So we had to secure a safe house where he would live and where he would operate from.
Okay.
Right?
So my understanding is that this was after receiving Chris, and then he came to with an idea that you guys should set up a front shop as a front for the ANC business.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary for ANC business. You know, we had to set up a front.
For the operation.
Yeah. So for the operation, that's
Yes.
the purpose.
Yes.
The problem that we had is that Briggs was the profile he occupied was that of a businessman.
Yes.
You know, his whole camouflage or whatever you disguise
Yes. He disguised as a businessman.
was as a businessman.
Yes.
But the problem we had is that we didn't have the financial record.
Yes. For
To
him
support.
to prove that he's a businessman.
Yeah.
So that's when then you guys ask your dad to took up the list for the front business under his name.
Correct.
A 3-year lease.
That's it. From 1990 to 1993.
Yes.
Correct.
Then something went wrong.
Yeah, quite
What?
a few things.
What went wrong?
I think the first thing was the arrest of Mac,
Moshe, Mac Maharaj, and
Simpiwe Nyanda Kebusa at the time.
yes, yes.
You know, and
As part of the Operation Vula.
Vula, correct.
Yes, yes.
That happened June, July 1990.
Yes.
You know, and that had significant impact.
And that front business, that the operation
Correct.
that you're doing, okay?
And even the operations in terms of the money flows and that, because we had support, financial support in that. You know.
So now your father now, because the lease is under his name, he had to face the debt of your lease that is still outstanding and still going?
You know, that didn't become as obvious. Maybe I must deal with that slightly later.
Okay.
You know, what happened before that is that, maybe I must indicate that when Briggs was in the country, when Briggs came in, Briggs and Charles Makula
Yes.
worked closely together, right? And I reported to Briggs at that time, but also on occasion interfaced with Charles.
Charles, okay.
You know? And when Mac them got arrested.
Yes.
The information that I got from Joburg
Yes.
was that the police, the special branch, had picked up their Charles and Briggs in the country. And I know soon after that, on police watch, their photographs were flighted. So there was an indication, a decision taken that because I detected surveillance on me, that I need to remain visible to the surveillance.
Yes.
But we must find a way
not to link.
But also to get Briggs and Charles out of the province.
Okay.
And the decision was that we needed to get them to the Transkei, because the Transkei was more friendly,
yes.
to the ANC. And because Chris Hani had a good relationship there, the view was that if we could get them there, then
they would be safe.
Yeah. And therefore, as a unit, we then had to ensure that while I keep the surveillance busy, we also need to supply arms to Briggs and Charles.
So that they are ready in case they're confronted.
Yeah, because at the same time, there was Charles Ndaba that was part of the Villa operation in KZN, who got arrested and killed by the security branch.
Yes.
So we understood that the security branch is very extremely vicious at that point, and we had to anticipate that any of us, if we get arrested, we may also be killed in the process.
Yes.
So that happened. I can also indicate that that I was then advised also to ensure that I get legal support in case I get arrested, so that the legal team should be able to locate
which way you might be,
so that there's no time for them to do the same.
Okay.
And that the outfit that we used was Inver Daniels. He was previously the state law advisor.
Yes.
And in my instance directly, it was Vincent Sandal.
Who's now a judge, yeah?
Yeah, Judge Vincent Sandal.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
So then came a time when, now there were negotiations started?
Correct. I think before negotiations, you know what happened in the family is that in, I think, December 89.
Yes.
Maybe I must indicate, I think we hinted to this. You know, of the 6 siblings,
Yes.
4 of us had to leave the country at some point or other,
Yes.
linked to the movement.
Yes.
You know?
So 2 sisters, your brother Barry and yourself.
Correct.
Yes.
And we then had twins, Erica and Enver, were the youngest.
Yes.
And in 1989, I think they were about 16 years old, going to be 17 or 17.
Yes.
And Geraldine then communicated to our parents to say that they, herself and Jabu,
The
has to
husband.
be,
Yes.
of Geraldine, has to all be infiltrated into the country in the early 90s.
Yes.
So the decision was that there would be nobody to look after
their
kids.
Yes, in Zimbabwe.
So they requested the parents to fetch their kids.
Yes.
So I know Enver Daniels, them had assisted in regularizing
the kids.
So my parents left with Erica and Enver to Zimbabwe. The twins, Erica and Enver, then returned to Jan Smuts. They flew with the kids in. So in case something goes wrong, then at least Jabu's family could provide support from Jan Smuts.
Okay.
So when Erica and Enver flew in with Notando and Temba, they were received by Jabu's sister and taken to Soweto. My parents then drove into the country and collected
The kids from
the kids,
Soweto.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know how the parents managed it.
But I understand that you also waiting in somewhere in the Northern Cape to
Correct.
take them from
Correct.
Northern Cape down to Cape Town.
Correct. We had agreed that I would meet them in Kimberley,
Okay.
and that in Kimberley we'd then drive in convoy to
Okay.
take them back to Cape Town.
So
Yeah.
So now we're going back 1990, F.W. de Klerk unbanned the ANC, the negotiations start. People are coming back from exile, but you are then sent out of the country officially. Chris Rani writes a letter that you must go and study.
In actual fact, the decision was really that my unit, the
Yes.
Dora unit, must remain underground.
Yes.
Because they weren't sure how negotiations
Should
was going to go,
Yes.
and that I should leave the country. I should go and study, but I could be summoned back
Anytime.
to infiltrate the country and reactivate the unit if so required.
Yes, yes.
So it's true, it was very strange that I left the country.
When everyone is coming back.
It was painful.
It was
actually.
painful when you're waiting to see all of them.
Correct.
So in 91 you left, you went to London.
Yeah, I went to London in February.
Yeah.
I got received by, I actually had to report to the ANC offices
Yes.
in Penton Street,
Yes.
Penton Road. And I was given a letter to produce, a letter from Chris Hani to produce to
Mendy
Mendy
Msimang, because she was the head of...
He was the chief rep
yes, yes.
there. But Mendy Msimang himself was back in South Africa. So I thought, but how am I going to manage the situation?
Yes.
Fortunately, I met the deputy. I was introduced to the deputy chief ref,
Okay.
Mandla Langa.
Yes.
And Mandla, a phenomenal man.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
He actually assisted me
Okay.
in securing a scholarship
Okay.
from the Canon Collins Trust.
Okay.
That was a part scholarship, and then I also got actually the full scholarship from the African Educational Trust.
Okay. So 92, there's an issue burning because that front shop that you guys set up for the project is becoming a serious threat for your parents. They have to lose their car. You have to come back and see Mandela to sort out this problem.
That is correct. You know, it was unfortunate that when the operation was terminated.
Yes.
I think people didn't look at the unintended
Yeah.
consequences of that, and so the family was stuck with a burden.
Yes. Of paying off the lease.
Of having to maintain the lease.
Yes.
Because the landlord, they tried to terminate it, and the landlord said, no, sign 3 years, you're going to stay here for 3 years. So our purpose was completely different to the purpose the parents now had to have.
Yes, yes.
And they had to then find a way to able to fund the monthly rental.
For that lease.
So when I came back, and I made sure I came back the following summer, with the summer break in the UK.
Yes.
And I then went to Johannesburg,
Yeah.
and I spoke to Geraldine because I felt that we must talk to the Secretary General
Of the ANC.
of the ANC,
Yeah.
to say that here's the debt, our parents is carrying the burden, they're about to lose their assets.
And this was
minimal as it is.
a struggle
This was
operation.
endorsed operation. Geraldine then told me, no, man, she'd approached the SG and he's disinterested, or he doesn't seem to be interested.
Who was the
in
SG
dealing
then?
Yeah. No, Cyril Ramaphosa was the SG at the time, you know.
Okay.
So she then said that, look, the next best thing to do is actually for you to meet with Madiba.
Yes.
And she facilitated the meeting with Madiba. So I met Madiba at Shallows
Yes.
in 1992.
Yes,
Myself and Geraldine.
yes.
And I know these photographs
Okay.
that Geraldine took with the kids about that.
Mm.
And Madiba, indicated that, it's difficult. ANC struggling with money and that they can contribute in part. And with debt continues to escalate.
If you're not paying, then they add another 50 rand, 100 rand, depending. Yes,
so there was, but Madiba ensured that there was a part payment
Okay,
done to the family.
okay.
But it didn't take the family out of the problems they had.
Because the list was still ongoing.
That's it.
Yes, yes.
And that ultimately resulted in my father having to find a way to buy a second-hand Kumbi and to try and drive a taxi
So that he can pay the debt.
after in his pension, so that he could just try and make ends meet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is maybe.
So you go back and then back after meeting with Madiba as the break, and then you go back to London.
Yeah.
92 and 93, your comrade Chris Hani get assassinated.
Correct. And I think that was difficult because I didn't also know what the implications had for me.
Because you are carrying the letters signed by him.
Yeah, I've just got the letters. I didn't have, my relationship with Chris wasn't, it wasn't something that was because Chris came in when I left the country.
Yes.
But Chris knew of me, so I had this letter, and then I needed to ensure that I am not forgotten outside the country.
Yes.
And I then got message, I think after Chris's death, that Charles Ngakula had actually indicated to the unit that they need to resurface now.
Okay.
That things are stable enough that they need to resurface. And so they were introduced to the directorate of DIS, the Department of Intelligence and Security of the ANC.
Yes.
And so that directorate received them. I ultimately came to meet Jacob Madikiza.
Madikiza, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then 94, you are still in the UK, you have to come and vote?
Yeah, it's true. Look, I came home every year over the summer break. And what I did is I just never paid. I gave up my rent every summer in the UK.
Okay, so you spend
So we spend it here, and we rather use that money
out here,
being home and trying to actually prepare for the future in the country.
Okay.
So we came back. I voted. Yeah, actually voted in Johannesburg.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was at Shell House. And then I went down to Cape Town because they were starting to interview DIS members to be integrated into the statutory forces.
Yes.
It's another story
Yes.
that I will write about one day.
Okay. Then after the break, you go back and then eventually graduate, you come back to South Africa in 95.
Correct.
And what happened when you come back in 95?
I think when I come back, I'm appointed at head office, at the old NIS offices in Skinner Street, Consilium Building.
Yes.
I'm in the research and analysis.
Okay. So now you're an employee.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's one of your proudest moments. You think that, your struggle wasn't in vain. Yeah. But you also remember those that has not been able to arrive at that point.
Yes, the fellow,
And I think that thing about remembering those that had sacrificed the ultimate, it's something that I live with. Because I think we all where we are because of those people.
Okay.
So
from that little corner there doing almost nothing, but being working, you get seconded to go and help the TRC research team, investigating team.
Correct. It's actually by accident that happens because Joe Intlantla, the then Deputy Minister of Intelligence,
Yes.
discovered by accident that there was a former apartheid NIS operative that had been deployed to the TRC
Yes.
to assist them without the knowledge of the Director General, Sisakele Segashe.
Okay.
And then Joe Ntlantla had spoken to the leadership and instructed them to send a team down to actually go and provide support to the investigative unit of the TRC.
So you go
and
there.
that's when we get deployed there.
And then that's where most of your trouble started when you
Well, it resurfaced all things that
because now you are at a place where you can have access to information.
Correct.
You can have access to who played what role during the struggle, who were the pimpies, who were the spies, and all of that. You get to get that information, and it makes some people uncomfortable.
Correct.
Because I know if you find out about that, you're gonna tell the other comrades, and then so you guys get tasked to investigate two very specific cases. What were they?
You know, what was, before I go to the specific case,
Yes.
you know, what was interesting about the time at the TRC
Yes.
is one that you were able to actually study the craft that the older regime applied.
Okay.
So you actually understood how the system worked and where they kept records.
Okay.
Now I can tell you, just of all the places, you won't believe the best record keeping was at correctional services. The best record keeping.
Because all the so-called terrorists were arrested and they're...
And the correctional service or prison services understood that they were part of the national security management framework of the country. So they made sure that everything integrate. It's not necessarily something that we...
But did they have records of how many comrades were killed inside the police cells?
You know, they had good records of what transpired.
Okay.
I mean, there's even one inmate, I'm not going to say who it was, prisoner. They anticipated his death. They wrote out 4 death certificates. And they didn't sign 3 of it because he never died on those days.
Okay.
So they only signed, but they didn't destroy the unsigned ones. So that's how meticulous correctional or prison service.
Because they knew that they will put you into a tight corner where you decide, no, this is enough, let me...
No, they understood the condition of the person.
Yes.
So they actually anticipated his death earlier than what had occurred.
Okay.
You know? So that is part of what... The other thing that we also discovered was the destruction of documents, tons of documents from NIS's archives.
Yes.
You know? And then with Zinzile Khoisan, phenomenal investigator, we actually looked into the Robbie and Colin, Robbie Waterwich and Colin Williams' death in the Western Cape.
Yes.
And I can tell you that we reported on when we were in the underground structures. It was part of what we discovered and what we detected.
So when you are now in the position where you can officially investigate that thing, you reopen that investigation, you started looking at that.
I did, and I must, you know, it may be useful that way I acknowledge people that assisted me in that investigation. The one person, is an old comrade of mine, Robbie van der Kerk. He was studying in the UK, but he had operated with my brother in student politics. But we were very close. And I went to Robbie because he was a close friend and confidant comrade of Robbie Waterwich. And I then went to Robbie to say, hey, but I'm going to now reopen this matter. So please assist me. And Robbie then got me to meet people besides the people, the investigation I had done previously.
Yes, yes.
And I then met David Africa, and I met Pete Arendse. And they opened a massive can of worms. I mean, David was instrumental in pointing me
to the right direction.
To the right direction.
Okay.
And I then discovered, with David's information and further investigations, an entire active apartheid project running
at that point in time.
In 1996 in democratic South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I can tell you it was in excess of 66 people.
Implicated.
That were actively involved, not implicated, actively involved with the handlers, the apartheid handlers.
Okay, 1996.
1996. Here we're talking 1996, 97. Actively involved. Some of the handlers were still working for the state.
Mm-hmm.
That's also where I discovered that the report that I had submitted in '89 around the Robin Colin thing.
Yes, yes.
That the comrade I sent it to
never received it.
No, that he was handled by the same people that was party to what happened around Robin Colin. So I found an entire network there. And we realized that that information is not necessarily information we can make public at the TRC.
Okay.
And that we need to share
with the leadership.
With the leadership of NIA. And we then briefed two senior leaders of the NIA. I can't mention names.
Yes, I get that point.
We mentioned, and we showed them the people. Here we're talking about politicians, journalists, academics, business people.
We're actively working.
And comrades that had been deployed as ANC cadres into the security services. And now you realize that these ones are actually part of
the problem.
And the counter-revolution.
How did that make you feel when you realized that the same comrade that we were in the trenches with, actually they were not with us, they were just with us by virtue of being their body, but they were selling everything to the opposite?
You see, that deeply affected me because it meant that they could have even been the cause of my death, that I was just lucky.
Yes.
That I didn't die. But so many
others died.
Yes. And you see, what we forget is that these youngsters were 20 years old, between 20 and 30 years old, most of them. And I think as a movement, as a government, we've allowed these things to fester. And our problems today is because of these guys. That the counter-revolution was driven from within the movement.
Okay.
And we're always looking outside.
But the problem was inside. You get to be given summons to go and save one of your comrades from the TRC.
Correct. I had to serve the summons on Geoff Brown.
Yes, he was your comrade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we never worked
together. Yes.
And then we could only raise Karima Brown.
His wife.
The wife.
Yes. And Karima Brown was a well-known journalist at that point in time. Yes?
Correct.
Yes.
And a well-known activist.
A well-known activist.
Yeah.
Now, a well-known activist's husband gets summoned by the TRC on suspicion that he might have been working with the apartheid government.
Correct.
To kill a comrade.
That resulted in the death.
That resulted in the death of a comrade. Okay. So, take us through. You then supposed to deliver the summons.
I reach out to Karima and then indicate to her that I've got the address, house address.
Okay.
So I want to deliver the summons to her.
Yes. To the husband.
To the house for the husband.
Yes.
And she then indicates that she won't accept the summons at home.
Okay.
She's only prepared to receive it at the corner of their road.
Okay. Why? What was the reason for that?
I think it was more embarrassment and a bit of anger.
Okay.
Because of the summons.
Okay.
So that I served on Karima at the corner of the road. I don't remember the road now.
Okay. But
I
was meant
remember
for her
serving.
husband.
Correct.
Okay. Did he appear at the TRC?
It did appear. It was in the section 29 hearing where they questioned him, and it became clear that he had operated with a former NIS operative.
Okay.
And he then, in that hearing, disclosed many people that he introduced to
the guy
the
that
NIS
was
operative,
okay.
you know, who operated under the cover of being a rich businessman.
Okay.
You know, so there were many comrades that were involved or interfaced with the same person, but through Joff and I think Karima's interaction.
Okay. And what did it make you guys feel now? We've got your own comrade, is on the stand now at the TRC, admitting, yes, I worked with this person, and it resulted in death of some comrades.
Yeah, but he can't be a comrade.
Him.
Yeah, how can he
No,
be a
but
comrade?
I mean the death of comrades. I'm talking
No,
about.
the death of comrades. But you see, for me,
Yeah.
when you have worked wittingly with the regime,
Yes.
you can no longer be a comrade.
Yes, you lose that status
Yeah,
completely.
I think the unfortunate part, though, with this comrade is that they are very good comrades that he recruited and who believed they were working for the ANC.
See, but they were, yes.
That was the misfortune. And, you know, I feel sorry for those comrades if they've discovered or when they discover that in actual fact, they were actually operating on what in intelligence we call a false flag. You know, and that must be one of the most painful things. I just hope that none of them had actually been party to providing information around Robbie and Colin.
Okay.
Or any of the other comrades. I mean, Anton Franch was also killed at that time. So in '89, it was actually intense. The amount of people that were arrested and killed
yes,
was significant in the Western Cape.
So do you perhaps, with this information now, do you perhaps think that maybe because there were a number of articles written about you by Karima Brown, do you think she wrote those articles in retaliation for that you are the one who served her husband with the summons, that embarrassed him?
Yeah, you know, the issue of Karima never had any love for me.
Okay.
Post that.
Okay.
That I can tell you.
Okay.
And I didn't have a problem with it because for me, I was serving the state,
yes.
the democratic state.
Yes.
And
we were just a messenger who was sent to go and deliver summons.
So
you didn't write them up.
Yeah, you know. So I saw it as that, but I knew that Karima had a specific posture. She herself would know why she had that posture. I'm not going to disclose, and I must state firstly that the information that I've just said now is not classified information. It's in the TRC record, it's public information.
Yes.
So it's not anything that I'm disclosing
that
is classified.
Yes.
But by the way, in this country, there's nothing that's classified anymore. This Ramaphosa, the president, has allowed SSA to declassify contemporary intelligence.
Information.
So from, I think, 2004-5 up until 2023 has basically been declassified Cyril Ramaphosa.
Okay.
And
we'll come to that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll come to that. So after your TRC sting, you get redeployed somewhere else. Where did you go from there?
Look, when I finished my stint at the TRC, I went back to head office,
Yes.
where I was instructed, I was actually promoted and instructed to set up the first national operational center of the agency.
Okay. The
And I
agency
was-
mean the National
The NIA,
Intelligence,
National
Intelligence
Intelligence
Agency. Yes, yes. So that you get it clear there. Yes, yeah.
Correct. So I set up that capacity, and then I was summoned by Pete Richer again.
Okay.
And I don't know if I've said previously that Pete Richer was the one that instructed us to go to the TRC.
Yeah, you mentioned
John Klantla.
John Klantla, yes, yes. So John Klantla spoke to Pete Richards.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually think he spoke to Sizakele Sigash, who instructed Pete to locate, to find people.
Okay.
And then Pete Richer called me in and indicated that Joint Klantla was concerned about the Pagat threat profile
In the Western Cape. Yes, yes.
And he was saying that, Klantla was saying that the comrades there are battling, and that they need a comrade that worked in the underground previously.
In the Western
to
Cape.
actually go back to the Western Cape so that we are able to impact on this threat.
Okay.
And Pete Richer then asked me if I would be interested in that. And I agreed, and I then got transferred
To the Western
to the Western Cape. Yeah. And that was an interesting time. Again, a lot of it will be reflected at another occasion.
Okay. But when you went there, you found things were not what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, look, I think the team in the Western Cape was trying to do what they could. But maybe one of the things I must say, when I came to the Western Cape, I found that the middle management in the Western Cape, in the operational arm, were all white, 4 minister operatives and 1 black, right? And that all the comrades that had come in from this had been at the lowest level. But when I observed, I realized that actually these comrades is doing most of the work. And then I thought we need to find a way that we are able to make sure that these white colleagues of ours don't do administration only, that they must actually become more operational. So they must go handle their own sources in the field and all of that. And I, unilaterally, changed the performance agreements of those middle management, where I told them that 30% of their work is management, 70% in the field.
Okay.
And you then found that those people couldn't cope. Some of them just couldn't cope. And it then actually allowed naturally for this tier of progressive intelligence officers to actually rise.
And yeah,
You know? And it also demonstrated in the work and the achievements we were able to make. You know, I think in the Western Cape, I had good relations. Look, there's a lot that you can talk about, but I had really good relationships with Mzwandile Petros. He was a captain at the time. Anwar Dramat and David Africa. And we worked very closely with that. And I must tell you that people within the ANC structures in the Muslim community was very forthcoming.
With information.
Yeah, in academia, amongst the clergy. And they helped us to turn the tide on the unconstitutionality of what Pagat was doing.
Okay.
You know, so that was significant. But while that is happening, Neil Barnett is the DG in the province. And I discover, you know, if you know the architecture of intelligence in this country, you'll know that there's a National Intelligence Coordinating Committee,
Yes.
which has a coordinator. But at that time, the provinces had peacocks, so provincial coordinating committees. And Gordon Brookbanks was the coordinator in the Western Cape. Now, Gordon Brookbanks comes very sophisticated man, well-trained in the craft.
Okay.
But he comes from special branch background. And I think he worked with Craig Williams in Europe at the time. And there were many things speculated about him. But so we would have to provide weekly reports into this peacock structure. Gordon would be able to, with our analyst, synthesize it.
Yes.
And then we'd provide it to clients. The national coordinator for the NICOC principals at head office, or to the provincial DG and premier. But then I discovered that these briefings inputs that we are giving, I am not allowed to actually accompany Gordon to the meetings where my intelligence is being given. And then I initially consulted my deputy, which was Dumisani Lupungela at the time. And I told him, no, I take exception. Because Gordon is saying that this has been a practice since Barnett came there. And I just said, no, I don't accept this practice. So I am actually going to withhold my intelligence until I am able to have a face-to-face with the client. And I suspended our relationship with Peacock for, I think, a period of 3 months. And I think within 2 months, the then national coordinator came down to Cape Town. And I met him and I knew him.
Okay.
I knew him as Richmond, but he was Lyndon T.
Okay.
And I met Lyndon T in Harare in 1984. And I remember because both of us had played rugby previously.
Yes, yes.
So
yes,
we were able to talk.
Yeah, because you know each other from the field, yeah?
Yeah. And even that rugby thing, you know, there's something about non-racial sport that we don't talk about. We have, I know I'm digressing.
No,
but we need to talk about non-racial sport and how we had actually disregarded sport in our communities. So my link with Richmond comes through non-racial rugby.
Yes, yes.
And Richmond comes down, and unlike some of my other leaders, he actually approached me and says, Arthur, what is going on here? I've been observing this thing, but before I go to your principal, because I know you as a comrade, I actually want to know what's happening.
Yes, just to get it from the horse's mouth. Yeah.
So I then tell him, you know, Chief, this is what's happening here. And I've engaged my counterparts, and they all indicate that they are present in their meetings with the premiers and the directors general.
But you are not.
But I'm not. And then I said that it's in this instance that I'm not going to compromise. He said, no, he understood. And he will address the thing. But he also indicated there were other issues that they had around Gordon, which I didn't bother to go into.
Okay.
I know that Gordon subsequently resigned, but before he resigned, he actually managed to, Barnard then accepted that Nia must actually be part to his meeting.
Okay.
And when I arrived in that meeting, I was shocked because it's as if I walked into a apartheid security council meeting, all majority white, but all apartheid operatives in that meeting.
And they were speaking Afrikaans.
Crazy. So you sit here and you say, it's no wonder we are not, and we are now being told that we The reason they don't want us there is because they believe we ANC intelligence. We left ANC intelligence in 1995, 1st of January 1995. We were serving government, you know. But I think he realized when we suffocated them with information that they required that information.
So my understanding is that in one of the meetings, because they were speaking Afrikaans, they asked you to speak, and you insisted in speaking in English, which pissed off a lot of people. Tell me about it.
No, as they called him, Doc, asked me a question.
Okay.
And I think this was my second or third meeting. And you must know, I'm a youngster at the time.
You're sitting with Olga.
I'm sitting with a seasoned DG of intelligence.
Yes.
And he poses a question to me in Afrikaans. And I then told him that I don't know what is. If he can find somebody to
Translate it into English.
Yeah. And I didn't gain any more friends.
Okay.
Then, but he translated himself
Into English.
and I gave him a response
In English.
In English, because our products went to him in English. So
Yes.
there wasn't. But I just thought that I found the province machinery very untransformed, you know, at the time. So that was my first brush with Neil Barnard.
And I understand they had this nice bar down there.
No, there was a bar in our provincial office.
Yes, they're down there in the provincial office.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, you know, Mzi, I had the best, my office and Dumasani's office was the best offices in Cape Town at that time. Because when we look out of it, the one side of our office was just window. So we could observe, when I came in at 5 in the morning, I could observe the sun rising over the Helderberg in Somerset West Side. And I could see it going to set past Robben Island. So that was my view. I had the entire waterfront in front of me. Apart from that, we had offices where we had half a boat. So the bar consisted of a boat, half a boat. And they had all this regalia all over the place. So it was ambianced. It had a stunning ambiance. Only problem is?
The regalia.
The regalia.
What was wrong with the regalia?
It was apartheid regalia and regalia that they received when NIS interfaced with foreign services. And you know, I looked at this thing and I said, but how are we comfortable to sit in a space
With the apartheid regalia hanging around?
Correct. Especially how do we embrace that? So I made it my duty to contact our archivist at the time. And I asked her, do you have documentation? Do you have regalia of the non-stat forces? Because if I have that regalia, and I told her that, look, I want that regalia because I want to put it in the space.
And remove this one?
No, I was prepared to put them next to each other because then we integrated,
Okay.
you know. But I wasn't prepared to. And she then indicated they don't. And then I met with the staff and I told them, remove this regalia.
And then it didn't make men afraid.
I couldn't have, yeah, no way. But I would assume in the main, it was the former regime people that felt that I was breaking down what they have built for years. But it was our space. And I immediately then decided to secure new offices where I didn't have the view I used to have. I had a smaller office, but we moved into new offices so that we could call it our offices.
Okay, I get it. So then something happened when you were there. You started fighting with Neil Barnard. What was the fight all about?
No. People always think I fight. No, I just respond.
Okay.
Because I was taught from youth
Okay.
that you don't create crime scenes, but you must clean the scene
Okay.
when the crime has been committed. So you don't create crime scenes.
Okay.
So you see and this again is public knowledge when
Not
you
classified.
read the Desai
Report,
Commission.
the commission, yes.
Because the Desai Commission was set up. We realized, we started to see that Barnett was recruiting former apartheid operatives. Seasoned, senior guys, he was recruiting into the provincial office. And he was he was curtailing NIA's counterintelligence mandate and support to the provincial office. So for example, when I'm saying that, we call it technical counter-surveillance measures. It's basically sweeps.
Yes.
He wouldn't trust us sweeping their offices. So he would get Steve Whitehead. I don't know if you know Steve Whitehead.
I heard the name.
Steve Whitehead, I think he was responsible for the death of Neil Agate. So Steve Whitehead had left, I think, that pre-94 period. He's one of those that left, got golden handshakes, set up a business, a counter-surveillance business. And Barnett was using them to do offensive and defensive work. And we had raised a concern about this. I've reported this to head office and all of that. I've reported this presence of former apartheid operatives because provincial government is public work. There's nothing clandestine that should happen there. Neil Barnett then set up a bunker where they would have clandestine meetings. So we then became interested, and until we were able to locate what they call the watchdog. And when we secured the watchdog, we reported this to our head office to say, look, we've got this thing, I think something must happen, because this is illegal intelligence operation.
Can you explain what was it?
The watchdog is basically, and I'm going to say what the technical guy from NIA had said at the time.
Yeah.
He'd basically describe it as being an offensive and a defensive piece of equipment. So it means it could detect if there was any penetration happening of technical surveillance happening into the establishment. But on the other hand, it could be offensively deployed, so it could monitor people.
Okay.
Communication outside.
Okay.
And this seems to be a practice that that actually happened later also.
So illegally bugging people's phones.
That's correct.
Okay.
But the interesting part is the finding by Desai wasn't very scathing on that because the evidence that was given by NIA, so Barry Gilder was the DDG operations at the time. He testified, I testified, and our technical guy testified. But during that period, I discovered that our head of legal services, had actually been Neil Barnett's legal advisor when he was in NAS. So I think we were actually possibly compromised in what we presented.
And what do you guys
case.
anticipated as the outcome of that investigation, of the commission? Okay.
Yeah.
So now we are stepping on people's toes, and now you get being told that your days in that office are numbered.
Yeah, maybe I think around the same time I got suspended.
Yes, that's why I'm coming there.
Oh, okay, so I mustn't go there.
Before you were suspended, you were told that
Yeah.
your days in that office Unnumbered.
Unnumbered,
And then
correct.
subsequently,
No, you're absolutely right.
yes.
I remember you're absolutely
and then
right.
subsequently, you get be told that go and stand by the fax machine,
Yes.
and you get a letter of suspension.
Yes. But I think before that, in 1999, Vusi Mavimbela, and I've submitted this in my response to the high-level review panel and to Zondo. In 1999, remember I spoke about this network we discovered at the TRC?
Yes. The
This
one
network-
where about 66 people.
Now this network, they were still running in 1999.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Probably
so
by then the
they're not-
number has increased.
So it was still running by 1999. And it's in a meeting, a strategic management meeting in 1999, Mavimbela takes the decision that these structures, so the first PAN structures in NIA must be closed. And these people must be serviced, so they must come into the formal structures. Those individuals, all of them in the Western Cape, refuse to surface because they were running, I believe, private business, and they were getting money from the state. And they were wedge drivers in the ANC, but they were fueling violence on the Cape Flats still.
Okay.
So that thing, and you see, it's after we close that structure that Neil Barnett sets up this capacity.
Okay.
So I'm just giving that, and then I get a call,
Yeah.
2 o'clock one morning,
Yeah.
from one of my colleagues, a junior colleague.
Yes. And he was half
Telling me-
drunk, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
telling me, Arthur,
Okay.
I just want to tell you that we have just plotted your demise. You finish your career in intelligence is done. You must just know it's a matter of time. Then you are out of this institution. And he then identified the people.
The role players in this whole
And
thing.
I just told him, thanks, I appreciate the heads up. And he then indicated that you were still with those. I don't think those people realized
That he was on the phone.
that he was on the phone with me at 2
okay.
in the morning.
So you go to the office the following day, confront.
No, that happened on a Friday evening. So it was the Monday. I normally had management meeting.
Yes.
And I thought, how do I deal with this, because if you're going to confront people, if you're going to be emotional in how you deal with this thing, people may just say that, no man, you're not rational.
Okay.
So I convened my normal management meeting. At the end of my management meeting, I share with 2 of the managers in my office. I say, I got this call, but I tell all my management, I got this call, this is what the person told me, and they said the 2 of you were in this meeting.
Plotting against me.
Yeah, and they were so shocked, and denied, of course. And I said, no, it's not the issue. I just thought it's important, you must know.
Must know, yes.
I'm moving on. And then,
Subsequent to that, you get suspended.
yeah, for apathy and negligence.
Okay.
And 4 investigations is done against me, including espionage allegations.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll write about some of the other stuff.
Yes. You are writing a book, I forgot.
Yes.
Yes.
But I can indicate that the investigations concluded within a month, and I was reinstated. I was reinstated. I must indicate, which was significant for me. 2 people called me while I was on suspension when they heard, and I think it's after the first week. The one was Lindy Wesisulu.
Okay.
She was the Minister
Of Intelligence.
of
I think.
Intelligence.
Yes,
And
yes.
she called me and said, Arthur, I hear you suspended. What's going on? I said, I don't know, Minister. And she said, no, I'll look into the matter. And Nosiviwe
Mapisanga Cwele. Okay.
called me,
Okay.
as surprised.
Because you work with her husband, Chasna Gula.
That's it.
Yes,
and I appreciated that, you know. But that matter, I can tell you that very year, the year or the year thereafter, Lindiwe Sisulu had the first Intelligence Services Day. You know, Lindiwe was phenomenal in understanding intelligence, what is required, but also in ensuring that intelligence officers had dignity and pride for themselves.
Yes.
You know, so she established the first Intelligence Services Day, and she developed criteria to award people in different categories of people.
For their hard work.
Yeah, and because of the impact we had with crime intelligence on Pagat, she actually provided my province 4 gold awards, which has never been matched again. And
to this day.
in all instances, it was for operational work. Two of the awards were to women, and one was for somebody that was inside Pagat.
Pagat, okay.
Yeah.
Managed to infiltrate Pagat.
That's it.
Okay. Then you're back, you get the award, but still, you still got some people who are not happy with.
You know, that is always, I mean, I think generally people thought because of Pagat, you know, we had support from Barry Gilder and Mavimbela.
Yes.
Because they understood the executive's pressure on resolving this matter.
Yes, yes.
And look, they didn't just look at Pagat singularly. They also said that we must deal with the causes, and that related to gangsterism and drugs, that we must deal with organized crime on the Cape Flats.
Oh, yes, yes.
You know? So because we had that attention, there's levels of jealousy that comes up. But I think for me, it grounded me in intelligence tradecraft, you know, and I think it created jealousies, you know, which reveals itself much later, not much later, but later.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So then again, you get approached to say there's a post available at Home Affairs.
Before the post.
Yes.
Barry Gilder, while Barry Gilder's there, I think Lindiwe Sisulu appoints Gibson and Njenje. I think it was first at SAS, and then she brought him, South African Secret Service, the external branch.
Yes, yes.
She brought him to NIA to be the DDG operations.
Yes.
And Gibson, I think we started off on the wrong foot because I had to testify. I was summoned to testify in an inquiry, disciplinary inquiry. And when I came to head office, I bumped into Gibson, and it was probably the second time I interfaced with him.
Yes.
Apart from the time that I met him in 1984 in Harare.
Yes, yes.
And when I bump into him, he says, we are called by acronyms. So he says, WC10, why are you testifying against my comrade? And I looked and I was surprised. And I then told him, but Chief, I thought I'm your comrade also. And I left, but I realized that something is amiss. Because I didn't have the same interface that I had with Richmond, Lyndon T. previously. Yes. And I left it. And then in 2003, I think around March or so, we were doing surveillance on a target, or my team was doing surveillance on the target. And they lose the target, but I only get to know a day later that they've lost the target.
Yes.
And so while we're trying to locate the target, I at least report to head office that, look, we've lost this target, we just want to inform you.
Yes.
So I report this, and the next thing, Gibson is flying to Cape Town. But he came with a team of I think 3 chief directors. We call them general managers in intelligence. And these Gibson then meets me at 11 o'clock at night. He summons me to the office. He then lambasts me for this target that we've lost.
Mm-hmm.
But he then tells me further that, you see, in actual fact, you see WC10, you are not competent to lead this province or actually to be at the level of a provincial head. And we've discussed this at head office. So us must be this chief director, that we must actually demote you. So I looked at him and I said, well, Chief, if that's how you feel, I have no problem. As long as you apply the same instrument that you apply with me to everyone across the country, then I'm fine with that. Could see he was taken a bit back. And then I said, but you know, there's another matter I must clear with you. If I am not competent, I only manage managers. I don't manage the people on the ground. Then it means that my managers are not performing at the level they should. That's why I'm underperforming.
Yes.
But I wouldn't know how to share that with them because I've never experienced what you're saying. So I said, will you please then, I can convene a meeting with them in the morning. Can you please advise them that you believe that they're underperforming? And Gibson then directed one of the chief directors who was eager to take the responsibility to brief my management.
Okay.
I think there was a view that I am a bit of a bully and therefore I will have passive management.
Okay.
The inverse. I work with very strong people. So
doing very complicated cases.
Yeah, and what happens? When this chief director is sitting in front of the management, I think he was traumatized by that management because the management challenged him and he couldn't respond to the questions
that they were raised. Okay.
And that matter went completely quiet. Only for me to 2 weeks later to be approached by Gibson, to be told that Mavimbela had indicated that they've had discussions and they believe that I must be deployed to Home Affairs to head up the National Immigration Branch because of its interface with intelligence and that I must apply for the job. And I then told Gibson that, you see, Chief, sorry man, you know, you've just told me I'm incompetent.
So why do I meet you?
So I'm not going to apply. Tell the DJ I'm grateful that he considered that I'm suitable to apply. But based on your assessment of my performance,
that I'm useless.
And I can't go to another department and fail.
Yes.
So thank you, but no thank you. I think 2 weeks later, or 2 or so weeks later, Gibson came back again. Said, no, this is no longer, it's an instruction.
That you must apply for this position.
So I don't know. I'm saying it's instruction from Mavimbela.
But did Mavimbela never tell
I don't know. I don't know. I think I then applied for the post. I went to interviews. I was successful. Got deployed to head office. I mean to Home Affairs.
Yes.
But when I think retrospectively, I think there was a need to get me out of the province.
Out of the...
Yeah, because I think the clients in the province at the time didn't necessarily want a Arthur Fraser there.
Then you go to Home Affairs and you find there's an elephant in the room called Bosasa.
No, let me, you know, when I get there, I don't actually, I don't know this.
You're new in the department.
I'm new, so I'm getting orientated.
Yes.
But the minister, Mapesa, indicates to me that there are problems at Lindela.
Yes.
And she says that they are getting litigation from, I think, the legal resource centers and that, bias, overcrowding,
Yes.
nutritional problems there, and then the issue of South Africans being incarcerated.
And taken to Linda because they are
Yeah.
black like me. Huh?
So
Yeah.
I then decided, let's make this a project, and I then go
To Linda.
to Lindela and I do a complete study with my team. And I then discovered that, you know, our problem is actually one Bosasa. The first thing that I decide to stop is that I realize Bosasa is actually getting policemen to moonlight
At Lindela.
for Lindela. So the Bosasa has trucks. These policemen come on a Thursday, from a Thursday evening till a Sunday. They drive around with the Bosasa trucks and they pick up black people. So black people.
It doesn't matter whether you're South African or not.
That's it.
Yeah.
I then discover that these people, the only thing they look at, inoculation. Do you have inoculation? Is it the left side? Do you have it on the left? Don't have?
On the
Off to. But it meant that this is how Bosasa was able to keep the center full, and they were being paid by the department per head.
per head, yes.
You see? I then immediately instructed them to stop the trucks and told them that this about moonlighting of policemen is illegal. So I stopped the trucks. I didn't realize I'm trampling on people's toes because I didn't bother to look beyond.
Who are the directors of Bosasa and all of that?
But as I'm working there, I meet some of the leadership of Bosasa and I realize Gibson was the chairperson
Of Bosasa at
of
the time.
Bosasa at some point, and that they had interest. So it's fine. I then decide to streamline the process, and because we had to go out on another tender for a period of 10 years, I tell the team, let's engage with Gauteng Health so that we get the health services that Bosasa is giving, that we at least get the provincial
Gauteng
health to
to
come there so that we are able to monitor nutritional challenges that may be there.
Yes.
But we'll have an independent actor, that we make sure that the security is also a separate function.
And by doing that, we are cutting Bosasa's cake.
Yeah, and that nutrition be dealt. I just thought that it's logical.
Yes.
And that I do. So I'm writing, I'm informing how well I'm doing at Bosasa. So we're no longer overcrowded and all of that. And we're repatriating people.
And then the place is no longer overcrowded.
That's the point.
And then Bosasa is getting less and less payment because the heads are getting down and down and down.
That I discover when one of the executives or senior managers of Bosasa testified at Zondo, where he said when Fraser came there, he cut the profits in half. I didn't even realize that that's the impact I was having. But it's clear I unsettled people, you know.
Then
And then Jeff Matatuka, Barry Gilder gets parachuted out of Home Affairs. Jeff Makatuka arrives, and I assume it's a friend of mine because we studied the same studies in the UK,
yes.
myself and Jeff, at the same time. 1, 2, before Jeff resigned in 1996, we were so close that we set up 3 companies together.
So he was like a friend.
That's it. In actual fact, I helped him.
Okay.
When his business collapsed, I had to get my brother to assist him
Okay.
in surviving. But that's
Story for another day.
another day.
So on this Bosasa thing, What do you think was happening there? That the place was overcrowded, the nutrition was terrible, but the company was being paid millions and millions of rands every month by the government.
No, I think they found a cash cow.
Okay.
And I think much of that has been also indicated. So they found a cash cow that was unregulated, that was just issuing out money to them.
Okay.
And I think when I streamlined the processes, I became an inconvenience.
Because so now we're cutting people off.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
So what happened thereafter after all this thing happened?
Then I got suspended. And I get suspended after I was on family
Holiday.
responsibility leave.
Yes.
I come back and I get suspended the same day I arrive. And I'm told that I'm suspended because I didn't report the death of 3 inmates.
And the point is, it was not your responsibility.
I wasn't there. I had an acting person in my position.
Yes.
But they suspended 3 of us.
So why do you think they specifically suspended you?
You see, when I came back from suspension after 2 months,
Yes.
I realized why I was suspended.
So why were you suspended?
To ensure that Busasa secures the entire contract without streamlining or deviation, and they secured the contract for 10 years.
And how much was it?
1 billion rand.
So
with escalation, annual escalation.
So you get suspended. So you find out Bosasa is doing something wrong.
Correct.
You get suspended.
Correct.
While on suspension, the same companies get given a 10-year contract with 1 billion. What did you make of that?
No, look, for me, it showed me that there was people that were manipulating processes, because I was the one that was supposed to recommend. All of this sat in my branch.
Yes.
So I was the one that I had to actually recommend.
Which company deserved to be awarded the contract?
Yes, yeah. So it was clear that somebody had interest, and I was clear. I mean, what I told the Zondo Commission is that I believe there was interest from the minister.
Which minister? The Home Affairs Minister?
Home Affairs Minister.
Minister.
Yeah, that's the only reason that I could find.
Okay. What interests were they, if you may ask?
Look, I realized later that a brother worked for Busasa.
Okay.
On another project.
Okay.
You know. So it was that. I mean, what I didn't indicate, I also found Gibson having an interest in my suspension. So then I realized that it seems as the Busasa crew that's actually managing how I am what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. You know?
Because you came in and cut their cake.
Correct.
Now they wanted you out, so to restore the cake back into its shape.
Correct.
And then, did you do anything trying to reverse or trying to ask why, guys? I was just suspended and now I come back. You guys signed a 1 billion rand contract.
Look, I sought an audience with the minister.
Okay.
And I thought that and when I eventually got the meeting, I then just asked her, please tell the staff on the intranet why I was suspended and what your findings are.
Yeah.
She said she can't. She's not prepared to.
Because there were no adverse findings against you.
Correct. And then I told her, please accept that I will be looking for other options, alternate options, because if you can't defend me on something where I didn't do something wrong, what happens when I make a mistake, genuine mistake?
Yes, so it means
So that is the moment I realized that there's been a complete breakdown between me and my former comrade Charles, because I would have expected him at least to come to me and to try and bridge whatever difference. That's when I realized, no, we have a problem here.
And now we are back at Home Affairs. Then what happened?
I think, look, I was only at Home Affairs for 14 months. 2 of it I was suspended.
So you're there for 12 months.
12 months. And at the same time, so in October to 2005,
No, not 2005.
2005, I realized that there's a problem on the farm at the
Yes.
National Intelligence
So the farm, you
Agency.
mean the head office of state security?
Security,
Yes,
correct.
yes, sir.
And there was the whole Avani debacle with Billy, Masetla, Gibson, Bob, and others. And then I approached through someone, Ronnie Casserols.
Who was the minister then?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I heard that Gibson and Ginger had resigned from the farm.
Yes.
And I then told him I'm prepared. If he requires me, I'm prepared to come.
Yes.
And he then sought a transfer for me
From Home Affairs back to the farm.
back to the farm, but now as a DDG operation.
So how was it like?
Well, Gibson didn't suspend me. Jeff suspended me.
Yes.
Gibson is the one that wanted to demote me.
Yes.
Yeah. No, what I did is the first time I walked into the office, I contacted Gibson from the office line to say, Chief, I'm now occupying your position. Is there anything I should know? And would you be available for me to interact? He was cordial. He said, no, nothing. And we left it there.
Okay.
And I then went about my work.
Okay.
But I discovered that we had a fairly dysfunctional
Entity.
entity at the farm,
Okay.
you know. And as I did an assessment, I also realized that those apartheid bans that Mavimbela then terminated in 1999, the other provinces had not terminated them, and that they were operational, but they were causing havoc within the security cluster.
Okay.
And I then embarked on the process to shut down those. Again, the same happened when they had to be resurfaced. They terminated, except one. That one person, Mr. Y, that
At the
testified at the
Zondo
Zondo
Commission. Okay.
Yeah, so that happens. And I think that we, with the team that I found and that we built, we actually transformed the agency within 12 to 18 months, you know. And we had great attraction with the executive because of some of the interventions that
Okay. And then in that whole process of you transforming it and getting rid of all the other guys, then comes something called the Zuma Tapes.
Yeah, that's 2008.
Yes. After.
No, 2009.
Yes, after Pulukwa.
After Polokwane,
Yes.
And I get to read that in the newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah. So I get to read that I was party to leaking the tapes.
Okay.
Which actually told me that there's somebody else that is trying to divert
The attention.
the attention from them, potentially, to me.
Okay. So it's a fact that someone leaked the tapes to former President Jacob Zuma.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. And it's also a fact that the tapes that were leaked to former President Zuma is not of the same quality as the one that were in the farm. So which means that the tapes that former President Zuma has got, they're not from the farm.
Definitely not.
So you were investigated for allegedly leaking the tapes to former president. What was the outcome of that investigation? And how come you specifically were investigated for that?
You see, I got investigated for it because when firstly, the Inspector General
Yes.
has total access to all operations and information within the agency.
Yes.
And as a result, the Inspector General would have discovered that we were investigating the Browse Mill,
Yes.
right? And we had already tabled findings on the Browse Mill to then President Thabo Mbeki,
Yes.
his cabinet and the like. So they had a right, he was correct to interview.
The Inspector General, yes?
Yeah, but the outcome of it is that they just told me, we have confirmed that it's not your tapes, one. Two, that we have no further suspicion or nothing further to do with you.
So if those tapes didn't come from state security, where did they come from?
Well, the rumors are there that it came from crime intelligence.
Crime intelligence that was being headed by General Richard Mdluli at the time?
No, Mdluli wasn't heading, I think it was Mpego heading crime intelligence
Okay.
at the time. Yeah, around 2008 it was Mpego.
It was Mpego.
Yeah.
So the tapes didn't come. So now, after all this thing, now we've got this cloud hanging over your head. Everyone saying you are now a Zuma person because they assumed that you leaked the tapes. But
Yeah,
it was not you.
correct. And you see, I accept that comes with the territory when you're working at a certain level in intelligence, that people will cast aspersions at you, and as intelligence officers, we don't need to respond.
Okay.
We actually, as long as our principals believe and know that what the truth is, we can go on.
So the fact that you guys had those particular tapes, you were investigating the Browse Mill report.
Correct.
What was the Browse Mill report? What was it all about?
Well, it's like all previous classic information peddling reports.
Okay.
And these reports, over the years, all get generated in part by former apartheid operatives,
Okay.
with the key purpose of creating division within the alliance and the ruling party.
Yes.
That's the sole purpose,
Okay.
right? So I wasn't surprised because I've experienced this before. You know, so when we discovered this, we were able to get to the bottom of it quicker than I anticipated.
Because my understanding was that someone faxed that particular, the original report
Correct.
to the COSATU office
Correct.
from a particular fax.
Correct.
And they didn't realize that that fax has got a number where it originates from.
Absolutely.
So you guys, it was easier for you guys to investigate where it came from.
Yeah. And you see, there were linkages between this Browse Mill thing
Yes.
and the Vani debacle that happened with Billy them.
Okay.
Again, I think Billy them got played by the same characters.
Okay.
You
In the
see?
Browse Mill report.
Yeah, it's just that I think they weren't together as a unit sufficiently to actually manage these things. I think there were tension within the NIA at the time.
So after the investigation, you were supposed to go and present the findings of that report to then President Thabo Mbeki.
Correct.
But your colleagues ran away and leaving you alone to go and present it to the former president, to the President Thabo Mbeki.
That's true. But it wasn't me. Manzini was the DJ at the time.
Yes.
So it's Manzini and I that went to brief the president. And there was another colleague from one of the services, I'm not going to mention the name,
Okay.
that had to go along.
With you guys, because your colleagues couldn't accompany you guys.
Correct. Because you see, when Thabo Mbeki directed us to investigate the Browse Mill, he'd instructed NIA to lead. He said crime intelligence must support, SAS must support, and military intelligence. So these supported, but when we had the findings,
They didn't want to come.
they said no. They actually, I can't use the words on your thing to say what they said Mbeki was going to do to me
Okay.
when we tabled the report,
Okay.
because they believed that he wouldn't accept
The findings.
the findings,
Okay.
right? So that was the first time I ever met Mbeki in a formal environment. No, it would be the second time. that I meet him but this time in a formal one-on-one. It's the first time. And I do the presentation, and he only asked me one question, and it related to a senior counsel trying to extort a judge to constitute a bench that would favor that counsel. All right? I'm not going to go beyond that. They tried to extort him, and but this happens telephonically. And it was just that we weren't listening to the Chief Justice. We were actually monitoring as we were uncovering this web of people linked to the Browse Mill, the compilation of the Browse Mill. We tracked one of the senior counsel, and then we find this one calling the Chief Justice and trying to threaten him, relating to something of a relative of his. Nothing happened, but that was the one instance that, and all Mbeki wanted to know is this speculation?
Or is it factual?
And I said, I've got the intercept and I could play it. He said, no. And that was the only question posed on our findings. So I was shocked because I anticipated getting a grilling
from the then
president. And he then directed us to say, this needs to be given to the extended cabinet. You must brief the JSCI, and you must go and do a briefing to the current president of the ANC so that he is aware of what is at play in the country. And that was done by myself and Manzini.
And then down the line from that, you find yourself also being investigated by then Minister of State Security.
Yeah, he was Minister of Intelligence and then State Security because he got appointed. He was the chairperson of the JCI.
Yes.
In the previous administration.
Yes.
When they recalled President Thabo Mbeki.
Yes.
Cwele gets appointed.
Yeah.
As the then Minister of Intelligence. Yeah, and I think that deployment of him didn't go well at the beginning. Well, I don't know if it ever went well, but let me just say at the beginning. Because I think around October that year, October, November, somewhere around there.
Because the President Mbeki get recalled in September.
Does he get recalled September?
Yes.
But it's around that time.
Yes.
No, but I'm saying around October, November.
The following year?
No, the same year.
The same year,
Crime intelligence informs Manzini that Cwele's wife has been picked up as part of a drug syndicate. And they then ask Manzini to lead a delegation, firstly for Manzini to brief Cwele.
The minister, yeah?
Yeah.
That your wife is in this thing.
That there's an imminent arrest of the wife because she's caught up in this
The drug syndicate, yes.
Cwele ignores and refuses to meet with Manzini. And we suspected that somebody had given him wind of what they wanted. So he refused until Manzini's contract ran to a close in March, I think, of 2009. He refused to meet Manzini, or just avoided Manzini. Manzini, Mpejo, and the then coordinator of intelligence, Sulumko Sukupa, decided to go and see the then acting president, Kgalema Motlanthe, and brief him on this possibility.
The imminent arrest.
Yes. And from that moment on, Cwele's tone and posture to the agency completely changes.
And I understand that he suspected you that you were the one who unearthed his wife's drug dealing kind
No,
of.
we believe that he thought it was the pan structure of the agency that had actually detected
And you were the head
wife.
of the pen structure.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And he therefore immediately started probing the pan structure. At this point, remember, he's the interim minister. He's only minister from, I think, October 2008 till September, or till the election.
Yes, yes.
So he's just there for a moment. But his eagerness to probe what the PANs are doing and claiming that firstly the COVID unit is only employing vendors, and then saying that we are securing suites and suits for ourselves. So suites for the Confederation Cup.
Yes, 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 yes.
At that, you know, and we responded. But at this point, Sukupa was the acting DG. And I raised with Sukupa concern to say, but you know, it's unethical for the minister to want to know details around the COVID unit.
operations.
And we then shared with him, this man thinks he's trying to look who has exposed his wife.
His wife, yes.
But because Sukupa was hoping to secure what I believe was a DG post, he was
Since
trying
Manzino has contract.
Manzini's contract had a lead lapse, so Sukupa came in. So he was just trying to manage Cwele. What he didn't know was that Gibson, Jeff, and Mo were on the way in. So they got in on, I think, the 2nd of October, 1st or 2nd of October, 2009.
And then you get suspended again.
No, I don't actually get suspended. You know what is, it's interesting, is when they come, the very first week that they're there, one of the PAN members is Zulu, coming from KZN, and he gets approached by a guy called Russell Christopher. I don't know if you know Russell Christopher. So he gets approached by Russell Christopher, and he gets told by Russell Christopher that, you know, we are going to deal with him backyards. So we are going to deal with Fraser, and he mentioned some of the senior managers, and then the COVID support unit. And he says, Gibson has contracted us in the private sector, and he mentioned his partner, to do a forensic on the COVID funds
Yes.
within the agency. And when this guy tells me this, I say, no man, this is impossible. I'm the head of operations of the agency. How can Gibson? It's not possible. Gibson wouldn't be that silly. Because how will he get a target? Because the partner to this man was a target of the agency to investigate the head of operations nationally. I said, it's not possible.
But it happened.
It happened.
And do you think that you were targeted, or do you think they had a valid reason that the pen was looted, the slush fund was looted?
No, you see, you have to go back to 2008, post-Polokwane.
Yes.
When I get a call from Ricky Nkondo, hey, this fly. I get a call from Ricky Nkondo to say him and Gibson want to see me. And they want to discuss a business proposal with me. Now, because Gibson was there, he was my predecessor. Ricky used to be my general manager, so was my senior. And Ricky also I know from 1983 in Zimbabwe, by the way. So I agree. I have no problem. I mean, anything people want to help, because we say once an intelligence officer, always
Yes. Once a spy, always a spy. Yes, yes.
So I go and meet Gibson and Ricky, and I meet them at this place one night.
I understand that Gibson didn't show up, only Ricky showed up.
Yeah, Ricky showed up
With
a white colleague.
Yes.
And when I sat down with Ricky, he then he introduced the white colleague as a former military intelligence guy. Found it peculiar, but I thought, no, it's fine, I'll listen.
And then did he explain why is Gibson in that point in time?
No, he just apologized, said Gibson couldn't make it. But I also understood.
Okay.
I think Gibson saw me as a little boy because I was junior at some point, so we never grow up, you see.
Okay.
And Ricky then indicates that him and Gibson are working with Neil Barnett and George Fivers. I said, okay, that's interesting. That's new. I didn't even know that at that time. And he then indicated that, Neil Barnett is a phenomenal mind, analytical mind, because on a weekly basis, he briefs the top management on different issues. He even went so far as to say, we even get Neil Barnett to draft policy papers for the ANC's NEC.
Interesting.
And he then indicated who they give this policy papers to.
Okay.
And I just thought, wow. I even told Ricky, I said, you people, you and Gibson are very mature, ne? That you can interface with these people in this manner. And he went further.
Do you think he was bluffing or just trying to?
He then went to illustrate.
Okay, that was.
He said, look, I can tell you what we want to do is we want you to outsource your COVID capacity because we have got the best capacity in the country. So, okay, what is that capacity? No, we've got former Battalion 32. We've got some of we've got recce's. We've got old military intelligence guys. We've got old special branch guys, former NIS guys, Kufut and Askaris. I say, hey, my dog.
This is a comrade saying that.
This telling me we've got this capacity. And you see, all you need to do is you need to tell us what to do. You give us the instruction, we'll execute, we'll finish the job. There'll be no deniability for you. So I say, Ricky, I actually, before I went further, I told Ricky if he can tell his white colleague
to leave the table.
Please excuse, because now we're discussing agency business. So I thought that it wouldn't be appropriate for somebody I don't know. So the colleague excused us. And then I told Ricky, I am trying to insource our COVID intelligence capacity. So I'm trying to do exactly the opposite so that we create a competent intelligence machinery in this country.
From within.
Yeah, instead of outsourcing and never building your skill space. And then he said, no, think about it, but we've got this. I said, no problem. I thought we were done. Then he said, no, there's a second thing. I said, what's that? He said, no, you see, Doc, this is Neil Barnett, is putting myself and Gibbs under pressure. I said, under pressure for what? He said, no, there's this fellow, Philip de Toit, who had been arrested, linked to abalone smuggling.
Abalone and diamond smuggling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Linked to that. And he's going trial. And he really wants this matter to go away because that guy is employed by their company, that all of them are working for.
Yes.
So I said, no, I knew he worked for you people, for Barnett and Fivers. That I knew. Because when the police arrested him, the police actually, when they went to his house, they discovered that he had interception equipment in his house, fully fitted out with the interception equipment. When they went further to check who they were intercepting, they realized that they were intercepting politicians at the city in Cape Town. And they then called on me to inform me about it.
About the arrest and what they
looked.
discovered, yes, yes.
We then discovered that Helen Ziller and James myself had actually tasked 5 of them to do interception on the opposition politicians. But in this instance, it was the last stint of floor crossing. So they were trying to monitor
Who's going to cross the floor?
and to try and avoid that.
Okay, okay.
You know? So the guy that they were really targeting was a problem to them is now the late Buddy Shaban.
Okay.
You know? So that was his interest. I then told Ricky that, you know, Ricky, I testified against Philip de Tooyd in the Atlantis court because he was claiming as his defense that he is a source to the NIA,
yes,
and that this was a controlled operation from NIA. I told the magistrate, I said, it's a lie. I went to check all the records. Yes, he had been a source to the organization, but you see, it's what all these guys did. I'm talking about the former apartheid guys. They left some of their colleagues in the agency, and then they got them to handle some of their supervisors, I would say.
Yes.
And then they would use state resources to do some of the work that they were doing. And when they actually arrested people, they would be remunerated by a client or whatever.
Okay.
You know? So so we actually suspended 2. So there were 2 people that was caught in this thing. One was a former head of I think special branch or detective services in the Western Cape previously. He was from Mossel Bay, and they were handled by a person in the Western Cape office and a person in the Northern Cape office.
Okay.
I then instructed that they put those people through a disciplinary process, independent disciplinary process. Those people got dismissed. Right.
They were linked to Philip de Tooyd.
Linked to Philip de Tooyd, directly linked. And you then realize that these people knew that these former apartheid operatives is actually involved in organized crime with triads and other gangs.
Okay.
You know, and that they, from inside the institution, is providing cover for these type of operations.
Okay.
So they got dismissed. So I told Gibson, Ricky.
Yes.
I told him, you see, Ricky, I testified. In fact, Philip de Tooyd has been found guilty already by the magistrate. So I don't know how you're going to reverse this, but
make this thing go away.
I'm the wrong authority to be asking to intervene. And we left it there. Maybe if I just, when I was at corrections, you see, I always scratch wherever I go.
Okay.
So when I was corrections, I went into the records of correctional services. I couldn't find a Philip de Tooyd ever incarcerated.
So you think he might have been found guilty and sentenced to a prison term, but he never set his foot in prison?
He was never in prison.
He was never in prison?
Never in prison. Not in the system and what I looked at. But what happened to me is that when Gibson, now I'm linking to what you're asking. So I understood Gibson, them's posture when they came to the firm, because I denied them to do this. And now they're my seniors again.
Yes.
You know?
And they're to deal with you.
Yeah.
And also they've got a pressure from the minister who suspect that it was Penn who exposed his wife in the drug dealing business. Okay.
That's my view.
Oh, that's your view. So what happened thereafter?
Look, within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, Gibson and the minister withdrew my authority, my administrative authority and my operational authority. And I then realized that in actual fact, I'm now becoming a stumbling block for some of the other colleagues there, because they are there just wanting to work. But there's clearly a tension and I am the
Istanbul.
target of that tension. So I summarily then decide to, well, not summarily, I then approach Gibson with a resignation letter. But maybe I must say, Gibson by this time compiled an audit team from our internal audit. Interesting, the team that he compiles is not, he doesn't speak to the head of internal audit. He talks to subordinates of the team, and he then takes this team and gives them instruction to go to the cover support unit and investigate or do a forensic audit. All right. And this is his third week there. He institutes a forensic audit. He hasn't even received a handover report from
yes, yeah.
So I then tell him, DG, DG, I can see you people don't want me here. So maybe I must just submit my resignation. How long will your team take on the audit?
Yes.
He said, no, they should be finished with the audit by the 17th of December. I remember the date very specifically. Sorry. And I say, okay, so are you sure it will be the 17th of December? He said, yes, they've told me that they're on track. So I said, okay, so I am submitting to resign by the end of February, so that there's enough time for me to respond to the audit findings.
Yes, yes.
And by the time I leave,
Everything.
at least this matter is resolved. He agreed, accepted. I then also went to speak to Jeff about this thing. Only to, I think around Christmas, hear from the guy that was in charge of the CSU. I can mention him his name because he's in court now. They've arrested him last year. IDEC. He's Prince Makotane.
Okay.
Prince was head of the CSU, but Prince calls me, I think a week later, and says, you know, I had another acronym, but he tells me that I was summoned to Port Shepstone.
On the December 17th.
December 17th.
The same time when the report was supposed to come out.
Correct.
Okay.
I was summoned to Port Shepstone. And when I got to Port Shepstone, I found Minister Cwele there, Gibson Ingen there, and Bob.
Bob Mhlang.
Yeah. He says, as I sit down, Cwele tells him, Boetie, Fraser is about to be arrested any day. You better sing.
Or you're going down with him.
Or you're going down with him. And he says, so, yeah, I'm just narrating what he tells me. He says, he tells the minister, but I don't know, I wouldn't know why he's going down, but I'm confident that I can't be dragged into these things. And the minister then says that they must now stop paying salaries to the PAN people. So this is commitments that the contracts that the agency has with members. Yeah, minister unilaterally decides terminate salaries of these people. That's when I realized that my time is done.
It's up.
The audit report ultimately comes at the end of January. And when Prince receives it, he then comes to me with one of the internal auditor that was responsible for CSU activity. And he then says, look, Bob them had tabled this audit report with the executive management, but realized, I think in the process, that they had erred, because the people they deployed, used for auditing, didn't understand audit practice. So they were excited to report
And you're also not
misappropriation
given,
of over 360 million.
you're not also not given a chance to respond to
Exactly.
any question.
To the management response.
Mm.
But after, I think, while they were tabled this at the executive management meeting, they realized they must get our response.
Mm.
This report is 6 pages. 6 pages talking about 360 million. We responded. I indicated to Prince, you know what? I will co-sign what you submit to the script, to Gibson them. But I want you to give me every authorization, every invoice. If you give me all of that,
I'll co-sign,
sign.
yes.
If you don't give me all of that, I'm not prepared to co-sign.
Mm.
I think we had 8 lever arch files of documentation to the 6-page report. And I signed a cover letter where I questioned the audit practice that was complied, that was executed. And then we received a response that the audit team withdraw their findings.
They withdraw their 6-page report.
They withdraw the 6-page
Did they pay
report.
back the 360 million?
No. I mean, it was just, you see, it was clear that Gibson and them were looking to create a crime scene. And it didn't matter what crime scene, you see. And I'll come back why I think Gibson was so passionately against me.
Okay.
You know, so I think we'll discover that later. So anyway, it comes to the 26th of February, my last day. But you must know that by now I'd asked Gibson that I remain at work so that I don't create conflict at the workplace.
Yes. Well,
That
although
you
you tendered your letter of resignation.
That's it, and that you get Bob to run the operations and what. On the 26th of February, I get a letter delivered to me, signed by Jeff, but Jeff doesn't write the letter this time. He attaches the minister's letter.
Okay.
And the minister writes that he has decided that there is sufficient evidence to show corruption against me, and that he withdraws my resignation.
And the minister in question is still Cwele?
Cwele.
Okay.
So you could see he had personal direct interest.
Okay.
You know? And then, so they withdraw this name as no. I've already prepared because, you know, as, if I can put it that way, that's middle class. We're only middle class till our last salary.
Yes, after that.
After that.
You become a hobo or something else. Yes.
You see,
yes.
So I had tried to secure
a job.
Now I must start the next Monday.
But now we're told that
I'm told at 2:30 on a Friday that I can't. I look at this. And I write back. I say, no, I hear you. And I'm available to your investigators.
But I've already found another job.
No, I didn't even, I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction because I realized this thing is personal. This thing is not actually looking for...
Make sure that you're off the street begging and the crawling and all of that. Yes. Mm.
So I write back and say I will cooperate, and I'm placed on special leave.
Yes.
Right? But I'll tell you an interesting thing, actually now it comes to mind. You see, in February, March, Bob is now in my position.
Yes.
As the DDG operation. And I hear Bob addresses a meeting. Now, Bob addresses the meeting and tells people, you know, as intelligence, we are obligated to support the minister in his wife's matter.
The wife's matter of being involved in drugs. Drug smuggling. So?
Yeah.
So you commit the agency to support that?
Support it.
Okay.
What do? They upgrade Gibson, Jeff and Bob them, upgrade Cwele's house, private house in Port Shepstone, so that the Nigerians can't reach the wife.
Okay.
So they upgrade that.
How much did it cost?
I don't want to speculate,
Okay.
but I'm just saying what I know,
Okay.
that the upgrade took place,
Okay.
and the evidence will show itself in the system.
And there was no.
There's no way you can do something like that. But beyond that, they give the wife protection and vehicles to attend her court case. It was even, if you check the media, you'll see that they talk about having security. When she came to, so Gibson then provide them security. But what did it do? It was their way to entrap Cwele to be part of their project.
Mm-hmm.
So they were now,
Yes.
they
Like
were
buying
naive
favor,
and-
so to
yeah, so it's that.
speak. Okay.
I never get called by any investigation. A team comes to me, I think March, April, and they come to tell me that Gibson wants me to do a handover report. But they want it in a specific format, paginated, blah, 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 blah. So this team had to convey. I told this team, no, man. How you think I'm going to write that if I don't have access to documents?
Yes, we have been suspended.
Yeah, and I'm now on special leave. So you know what? You go tell your DG that if he gives me that documentation that I require, that I'll seek from him, and he gives me a safe at my house, and he gives me a computer,
I'll sit
I
and
will
write.
set it out and write it.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't want to do that, he must give me an office on the farm,
I'll come
and then
back.
make the same available. I'm prepared to do that. I'm still waiting for them to come back on that matter.
Okay.
All right? While they urgently wanted a handover report, which I was prepared to give to Gibson on the second week of him
Being in
entering the farm,
Yes.
never received it.
So there was no handover.
Never handover. These people never, all this investigation is because they never want a handover. They want to investigate you. They don't want you to tell them what you've done. So they're ultimately there to destroy the agency.
Okay.
Purpose. You know? May I get a letter from Jeff. I call it the Bulalani letter. Prima facie evidence
against you.
of wrongdoing, of corruption and fraud. I write back to him, I say, I note what you say. I still remain available to your investigators.
They've not even contacted me.
That's it. But what happens after that? Prince gets called by a attorney firm. I don't want to mention
The firm.
because I have regard for the
For
the law firm or the individual that was in charge. Gibson they outsourced initially. They're now outsourcing the same forensic investigation to this law firm.
Okay.
I think paid them 6 million to do this. Come November 2010, we get the letter from Jeff.
From May, they have prima facie evidence.
Correct.
And nothing happens
Nothing happens.
until December.
That's it.
And December, they say give reasons why we should. But so why can't they use the prima facie evidence to suspend you?
That's the point. But you must know, all this time, besides having drawn even on Mdluli's crime intelligence to investigate us, Gibson has 2 or 3 teams, most of them apartheid operatives, doing this investigation on his behalf. So we get this letter, 25th of November. And the letter says this, but it goes further. It says we're restricting you to the magisterial district of Tshwane. I think it was Tshwane by then, or Pretoria.
Yeah.
And I look at this and I say, but you know, I stay in Joburg.
Yeah, you never stayed in Pretoria, as far
I
as I
stay
know.
in Joburg.
Yes.
What are you talking about? But you know, these boys, they are lazy. And they think things is easy, so they cut and paste.
I don't know what the obsession with Pretoria.
No, it's that, but it's just carelessness.
Okay.
You know? So I write back to Jeff to say, firstly, you'll remember you put me on special leave in end of February.
Yes.
So I don't understand why you're asking me to justify suspension, because I don't see any difference.
Yes.
One, I say two, I've been waiting for your investigators. I'm still waiting. Three, this authority you think you have about restricting my movement, you don't have, your wrong authority.
And
so I submit this
and
letter.
fourthly, don't even stay in Pretoria.
Yeah, correct. Sorry if I didn't say that.
Yes.
Correct. Send the letter off. For the first time, the farm, the agency, responds the next day. This time from Gibson. Gibson saying, I've noted your response. Now, of course, these letters is written by these white fellows. I've noted your response. I'm therefore instituting your resignation with immediate effect.
You've never been disciplined.
So I write back to Gibson to say, sorry, man, you weren't the one that asked me to provide reasons why I shouldn't be suspended.
And then why
that was done by the super DJ.
So why are you suspending me?
Yeah, so I don't have to engage with you on this matter. So I respect you, but no, that's not your business. Only to be delivered a letter on the 23rd, 22nd of December.
No.
2:30. They like this 2:30 thing.
So they wanted you to have a nice Christmas, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deliver a letter. We'll open the letter. Gibson writing to me to say, please be advised, we have implemented your resignation with immediate effect from the 26th of November, so you're no longer in the employ of the agency.
So definitely won't have salary for Christmas.
That's it.
Okay.
And then it reinforces this thing that this vindictiveness is driven by something or somebody's.
What do you think is that?
It will expose later, but you see, I think that working relationship, Gibson's relationship with the old guard, is tight. It wasn't only Neil Barnett. There was other people. There's a guy by the name the guy that was shot in Bedford View by his attorney, man. Kevin Tradesman.
Yes.
He was also old guard. He's also somebody that got lots of business from government, as if he was a transformed operator.
Is he not the same guy who's linked to Brett Cable?
Brett Cable, but also Lolly Jackson, them and that. He's linked to that
Okay.
crew. Lolly Jackson, them, the Cratchers, linked to that outfit. You see? So, so I realized that Gibson can't be doing this out of his own, because Gibson, I didn't see him as such a person. So he's driven by people. And now, remember when you resign, on your last day, people at least pay you your salary and they give you leave days and all of that.
Yes.
I had to fight for 3 months, to get my leave days. I had about 132 leave days. I had to fight the agency to get them to pay that out. My pension, they paid out 6 months later. So that, I realized that here we have a problem, And this might not be known. I then sought an audience with the president at the time,
Jacob Zuma, yeah. Where did you meet him? At the Little House Union Building, Mahlamandlo or Mkandla?
No, I never went to Nkandla, never drove that far.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember, because I
Not
met
Forest
him
Town?
the first time. I met him the first time at Forest Town, when Mbeki directed us to brief him.
Okay.
So that was the first time I met him. This was the second time I met him. I think it was at Forest. No, I don't want to lie. I can't recall now, but so I met him. Yeah, it was at Mahlamandov.
Mahlamandov, okay.
Yeah. So I met him and I then told him that, you see, Mr. President, your administration is persecuting me. They've now been investigating me for 12 months. I don't have a problem, and I've not bothered to complain because I thought I'm giving them space.
Enough space to do the investigation.
But now they are withholding my leave money, and I don't know when I'll get my pension.
Yes.
So I'm seeking your indulgence to do one or two things. Either you get an independent panel to review this thing that these guys
are busy doing, yes,
so that we finalize that, or you take me to court
and let me face the
music.
Yeah.
But know that I'm not Jackie Selebe. I will engage and I will defend myself. And he then said he heard about it, but he's not sure. I said, no, I'm just asking for fairness. But I told him something that as I was about to leave. I told him, you see, Mr. President, you see these ones? They're going after Arthur now. You'll see soon.
They'll be after
They're coming for you. But I'm leaving that with you.
So you'll make it up, okay?
And that Zuma would be able to confirm. So I left. And as I said, end of March, around there, I get my leave days.
You get paid.
And then my pension after that. And I then set up Resurgent. But I hear Cwele and Gibson and this old guard guys are busy going and canvassing ministers to support them to have me prosecuted.
On what ground? Because they couldn't produce any report that's sending you to jail?
Oh, I don't know. But because you see, these junior officials, these white junior officials, they get excited, you see.
To go after big fish.
That's it. So they want to explain, show everybody else that country. They now talking to the big fish, the minister, so they know they in the inner circle. So I then work at Resurgent. I set up Resurgent with Manala Manzini, and we then feel the onslaught from the farm. Where when we get a contract, a small contract, from SASSA, we get told that SASSA can't continue to work with us because the farm had written a letter to them to ask why are they doing business
with you guys,
with Resurgent. Now you know any DG or CEO that gets a letter from the farm that says they immediately going to terminate.
Yes, definitely. They don't need to think twice, yeah?
And then there's Gibson's friend. I'm not going to mention his name now, but you'll know who he is. Who went to Minister Dlamini, Patabila Dlamini, and then told her that when I was DDG at the farm, I had fired him and I persecuted him. Kandi, he resigned from SAS, not NIA, but he put pressure on her to make sure that she terminates. So a small contract, they terminate. And you kind of had this continued persecution while you're in the private sector, you know. So that goes on, and Gibson then falls out with JZ that same year. Gibson, I think, leaves in November, and Mo and Jeff leaves the next January, the next year. But what do? They set up Foresight. Who's their co-directors in Foresight? Neil Barnett, George Fivers. and that. Right? Now, when I tell you that I suspected that they are driven by something, when they set up that business, I then knew that this is where the pressure comes. Because Neil Barnard, I know, has never forgiven me
For what happened
in Western Cape and the fact that he had to resign before pensionable age. You know? But now it makes me inquisitive in what's happening on the farm. And I then discovered that these three had given Neil Barnard contracts.
When they were still in charge?
When they were in charge. And these contracts ran for a decade most probably or more. Let's see, a decade. Or just short of a decade. They ran. These are the people that call us corrupt. But it's most probably, if I was white, I must got a Fraser surname. It may have worked better. But because I'm black.
Black is corrupt, colored is a thug. So you go and open a case against the president about the theft at his farm, Pala Pala.
Yeah.
Someone gave me the copy of the statement you submitted at the Zondo Commission. You wanted to go and expose certain judges of being on the payroll.
I think people came to me, not one person. Oh, do you know our president doing involved in this thing?
Yes.
And this is bad. And that person asked me to actually pull the trigger because we should not have a president that is involved in the type of activities.